Welcome back to another edition of PaynePoints of Interest. I'm Sarah Harbuck, and with me is Mike Payne. And today's question, we're going to start off with one from Reddit from a user called CyberTigerFTW. He says, how to expand. My father is self-employed. We service pools weekly, and we make a good living out of it. First, he was an employee for someone else, and now he has his own routes. We now have an employee that helps us out. We are making about $95,000 a year, deducting about $15,000 in material and other expenses for work. I always mention to him about expanding our business. He has taught me self-business is the way to go, but I don't see him trying to expand the pool business. Paperwork for him, sending texts such as payments due, etc., is very time-consuming. Any ideas on how to simply do the bookkeeping track of everything and how to maybe hire more employees? We'd have to invest, perhaps buying more work trucks. Also, we are based on hard work. This is a catch, too. We don't want to hire someone who slacks. Thanks in advance. So, yeah, this deals with a whole bunch of different things. Expanding your business, what kind of bookkeeping to use, hiring more employees. I feel like we could talk about this for an hour. What stands out to you most about this question, Mike?
So this is really a business in its infancy. It's not even really a business. It's a self-employment situation.
Yeah.
Then in order for me to really see this as a business, there needs to be a lot less of dad doing all the work and more focusing on what he's really good at. If that happens to be the paperwork, then that happens to be the paperwork. If it's the operational aspect of the business, then that's that.
One of the answers to the question, and I feel like this kind of sums it up perfectly. Before you ever start expanding or in hiring employees, automate and delegate. Automate what you can, delegate to others, the son, if he's helping him. I feel like there's some steps that need to happen before the expansion happens, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, my first thing is to break it down into, break the business as it stands now into its four, the four quadrants that we talk about at PaynePoints. The operations, the creative/promotional area, the organization of the business, and the finances of the business. Those are the four major business areas that you would look at and go, how does this work? How does this work? How does this work? And the easiest one for a business like this is the operational side. What does it mean to have a job? What does it mean to go from start to finish on that job? So that's kind of what we're talking about. And once you fill in all the ideas and select what you're going to do in each of those four areas, then you can really start putting those into place. Mm-hmm. Get the people who you need to do it, have them follow the process you've laid out, and build up that business. The organizational side is where you'll start hitting the things like, okay, when do I incorporate? How do I delegate and grow as I get more things? Because then your different pieces kind of pour into this. Your creative side, as you promote and gain more business, you're going to have to now execute the operational side for those new things, but you're also going to have to execute the organizational part of the plan in order to have the people in place to do those things. So in these four areas, that they all interrelate to each other, and they really provide you with the means to go from a really unknown, we just do the things, to this is how it's going to function and flow for years to come.
Yeah, it sounds like right now what they need to do, because it is such a small, self-employed endeavor, I would hold off, if it were me, giving them advice, hold off on hiring people and buying more trucks. First, they need to get organized. It doesn't really sound like they're terribly organized. Use free or very low cost accounting, bookkeeping software, which, there's so many options. And a lot of that can be automated. You can send out invoices and do it all for you, and you don't have to remember. Mm-hmm. Maybe sit down once a week with your dad and plan, okay, this week we're going to do these jobs and we're going to take care of these menial tasks that take up time. And then as your business grows, you obviously got to figure out how to do the marketing part of it too, so that you can increase your revenue over time. But as your business grows and you see more growth and you've gotten yourself a little more organized, then you can hire on people, because that adds a whole other level of complication and organization to it. If you're not organized with the basics, you're going to find yourself overwhelmed, I feel like, if you don't kind of take care of some of the more smaller things that need to be organized. I mean, would you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think the idea here is if you've got two people doing this work and this total sum of the work for the business takes 80 hours a week, then your first step is to organize it in such a way that it takes half of that. Mm-hmm. That you're making the same amount of money and spending half the amount of time that you're currently spending.
Right, because all those little things, bookkeeping and marketing and all that, that's all very time-consuming stuff. But if you can, like that one user said, automate what you can, delegate to others if that's a possibility, then you're going to cut down the amount of time you spend running through some of those things that aren't necessarily generating revenue directly. You know, they're taking up your time, but you're not getting paid for it. So I would definitely organize your business in a way that you can eventually hire more people and get more trucks and what have you. But I think if you're not organized, at least with the basics, you're gonna run into some complication as you go forward when you hire more people. And with a pool service business, you could probably just hire as needed if you have a really big job, and then if you do the marketing correctly and you get enough extra clients and you're getting more revenue, then you can think about something more permanent than part-time.
Right. That's 100% accurate. And the basic idea here is you have to find ways to grow your business. And the fastest way to do that is determine how much time you're spending on everything now. Then put into place means to reduce the amount of time for the people currently involved. So you're making the same amount of money in 3/4 or half the time. And now you've got a whole bunch of time that you're getting paid for because the money hasn't changed, that you can now put into growing or executing another important part of the plan. The trick to it is which part of the plan is the next thing to do.
Yeah.
And you have to evaluate that on a when you're first starting off, you have to evaluate that on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
You know, what's important for me to do next. It's always about what's next.
Yeah.
And taking action on those next steps.
Definitely. Well, that's an interesting topic. Expansion of a business can go so many different ways. So send us your thoughts and comments and your experiences. We'd love to hear from you. You can reach us at our website at PaynePoints.com. You can reach us on Facebook and LinkedIn at PaynePoints. You can do Instagram at Payne.points and Twitter at PointsPayne. So hit us up with some comments. That's going to be all for us this week, but catch us next week. We're going to talk about a whole other set of business problems and get some answers. See you then.